Welcome to Storyflix. In this video we will discuss a thriller about a robbery incident in a new house. To avoid the robbers, a mother and daughter decided to hide in a panic room. Can they survive this robbery event? Let's take a look at the panic room storyline. Panic Room begins with the scene of Meg Altman, a widow who has just divorced from her husband, who is looking for a new home. Her daughter, Sarah, looks so active on her scooter. Lydia, the home marketer, took Meg and Sarah to see a house in the Manhattan area. They then meet Evan Kurlander, who invites Meg to see the house. The building consists of 3 floors with a beautiful kitchen and a small elevator. In her master bedroom, Meg is introduced to a secret room behind the mirror used by the previous owner as a panic room. This panic room is designed so tightly with thick walls that no one can break into it. Meanwhile, there are various monitor screens connected to all the CCTV cameras in the house in this panic room. Evan explained that the previous owner was a millionaire who was introverted, so he created this room. But it seems that Meg doesn't really like this room because she doesn't like cramped spaces. Evan also said that the panic room is equipped with sensors to detect the human body like an elevator, so that the door will not close if people or objects are blocking the door. In other words, this panic room is definitely very safe. There is also a telephone that has a different cable network from the telephone network outside. This room is also equipped with its own power line, so that if the phone and electricity from outside are turned off, the people inside will remain safe. Because it is in a strategic location, Meg finally decided to occupy the house. In fact, Meg and Sarah are trying hard to start a new life without Sarah's father, leaving them with another woman. Of course, without her husband, Meg feels so stressed. That night it rained non-stop. This is the first night the two are in the new house. Meg and Sarah don't know the threat they will face in no time. Before going to bed, Meg decided to charge her cell phone. She then read some manuals on how to connect CCTV to a monitor in a panic room. Finally, after several attempts, all the monitors in the room turned on. It's 2 a.m. in the morning. It was still raining heavily. Without knowing, 2 men appeared in front of her house and tried to break in. But since all the doors were locked tightly, one of the men decided to climb on top of the roof. The man's name is Burnham, but Burnham is confused when he finds some lights on in the house. He then went into Sarah's room and found Sarah sleeping. When checking into the master bedroom, Burnham also found Meg, who seemed to be sleeping even though she was awake. Unfortunately, Meg didn't realize there was a Burnham nearby. Burnham went downstairs and opened the front door, letting Junior in. Junior came in with some tools, and just then, a man came in wearing a black mask. This man's name is Raoul. Burnham had absolutely no idea of Raoul's whereabouts and was furious at Junior, who brought other people along without his knowledge. But Junior said that they needed Raoul. Burnham then explained that a mother and child were sleeping in the rooms above. At first, they were so confused because the house was supposed to be empty, but now it was occupied. Burnham decided that he wanted to end this stunt because he felt insecure. But Junior reminded him that they didn't need to be afraid because what they were facing were only 2 women. In addition, Raoul was carrying a gun in his hand. Here it appears that Burnham doesn't want to hurt anyone, but Junior continues to convince him that he needs money. And in this house, there's $3 million that can get them out of poverty. In the room upstairs, Meg wakes up but still doesn't notice the 3 men hanging around in her house. When she was about to sleep again, Meg turned off the light in the panic room, and that's when she realized the presence of the robbers who were caught on CCTV cameras. Meg knew she and her daughter were in danger. So Meg immediately ran to Sarah's room and woke her up. At first, Sarah was difficult to wake up, so Meg had to splash her face with water. The two tried to run away, but they were blocked by Raoul. Meg and Sarah finally decided to get into the small elevator in the house, but unfortunately, robbers were waiting for them on every house floor. With her intelligence, Sarah finally advised them to immediately go to the panic room. Luckily both of them were so agile and managed to lock themselves in the panic room just in time. Realizing that Junior was so angry because their main goal was to enter the panic room, he then throws Meg's mattress upside down and drops her cell phone under the bed. Luckily none of these robbers were aware of the existence of the cell phone. Meg, who was in the panic room, used the phone there. Unfortunately, the phone couldn't be used because it had not been set. Now both of them are hopeless. They don't know how long they will be trapped in the panic room. Meg tries to calm Sarah in the panic room while monitoring the 3 robbers through the monitor screen. Finally, Meg found a button that could communicate one way in the house. Meg tries to get the robbers to leave, but the men don't want to go and say they will free Meg and her daughter if they can get into the bunker. The three robbers were so frustrated that Meg refused to cooperate. Burnham said the bunker was so strong it was impossible to break into it from the outside. He had spent years building the bunker, and he knew very well how robust the system was designed to be. The only way to get in is to get Meg and Sarah out of the room. But Burnham also realized that he couldn't let Meg and Sarah out of this house because they would call the police. Then one way that must be taken is to lock them in the house. Burnham then proceeded to take out his tools and nail all the windows and doors in the house. That's when Burnham saw a gas cylinder and got the idea. Burnham then began to break into one of the walls near the panic room and attach a hose connected to the bag's tube earlier. Turns out Burnham knows the air gap that enters the panic room, and he intends to flow the gas to force Meg and Sarah to come out on their own. But actually, Burnham is not a bad person. He just wanted to put in a little gas, but Junior and Raoul didn't think like him. Both of them did not hesitate to put a lot of gas so that Meg and her daughter were killed. But Burnham insists it's a terrible idea because they need to get into that bunker, and if Meg and Sarah pass out, they'll never get that chance. Meg realized what was happening in the panic room and tried hard to close the ventilation holes. Unfortunately, her efforts were in vain. Sarah had difficulty breathing and found a small opening to get air. Meg found a match from one of the boxes and got an idea. Meg knew it's a dangerous thing to do, but it was the only way. So Meg started climbing up the air vent and started a fire. And sure enough, the flames burst out and caused half of Junior's face to burn. The incident ignited Junior's emotions and made the three robbers so confused about how to get Meg and her daughter out of the panic room. It was still raining so hard, and while looking out of the small gap, Sarah had an idea. She then looked for a flashlight and began to shine a light on her sleeping neighbor with a flashlight in her hand. Unfortunately, the message was ignored by her neighbors and only considered it a sleep disturbance. On the other hand, Meg knows that she has to keep the insulin in Sarah's body because Sarah has diabetes. Fortunately, Sarah still wears a smartwatch that continuously monitors her blood sugar levels. Meanwhile, Raoul and Junior are currently talking downstairs, discussing the distribution of money. Junior tells Raoul that he is the grandson of the previous occupant. His grandfather was wealthy and had so much money in the bunker that he intended to break into it. The conversation between Raoul and Junior grew so intense that Burnham went downstairs as well. Through the CCTV monitors, Meg realized that the three men were not in their room. It's time for Meg to run to her bed to get the cell phone. Now they have new hope. With a single press, the panic room door opened and Meg rushed to her bed. But her cell phone is far from her reach. The three robbers realized that if Meg came out of her room, they immediately ran back upstairs. Luckily, Meg managed to grab her phone just in time and ran into the panic room. But all of Meg's efforts turned out to be in vain because there was no signal at all in the panic room, so they couldn't call anyone. But that doesn't make Meg lose hope. When she saw the phone in the panic room, she knew she could connect it by plugging it into the main line. So Meg quickly climbed into the air vent and started looking for the main telephone line in her house. Amazingly, Burnham wasn't stupid because he realized that Meg was looking for telephone wires. They tried to cut off the landline. Meg, who put her phone on the main line, tried to call the police, but no one picks up her call, so she decided to call her husband and say there were three men in the house. But the call was cut off because Burnham had managed to cut off the main telephone line in the house. Now their hopes are getting smaller. Meanwhile, Sarah's blood sugar level dropped, and she was so worried about Sarah's condition. Meg then tried hard to find sweets from the box in the panic room. On the outside, Junior had given up because he thought his purpose here had failed. He kept talking until he accidentally said that there were more than $900,000 in the panic room. His words immediately alerted Burnham and Raoul that there was more money in the bunker than Junior had told them. But Junior doesn't seem like he wants to get involved in robbing the bunker anymore until he decides to leave. Unfortunately, Raoul wouldn't let him go just like that. Just as he was about to step through the door, he was shot in the head by Raoul and killed him on the spot. The incident shocked Burnham. Raoul began to threaten him. That's when in the doorway, Stephen, Meg's husband, stood still, not understanding what was going on. Finally, he was pulled in and beat by Raoul. Now Stephen is a hostage to force Meg and Sarah out of the panic room. Repeatedly the two robbers reminded them to get out if they didn't want Stephen to be the next victim. Meg was so stressed and didn't know what to do. Sarah started having convulsions because her blood sugar had dropped drastically and she had to get an injection right away. Whatever happens, Meg has to get out of the panic room. On the CCTV screen, Meg could see that Burnham was dragging the sprawling Raoul downstairs. So this is the right time for her to get out of the panic room. When she came out of the panic room, Meg could see her husband's body lying on the bed. She quickly ran to Sarah's room and took the injection. Unfortunately, it turned out to be all just a trap. Because the body that Burnham dragged was actually Stephen's body with Raoul's mask on. Meanwhile, Raoul pretended to be Stephen in Meg's room. Even though she had managed to get an injection for Sarah, Burnham had entered the panic room. Raoul hid, waiting for the right time to attack Meg. Meg then ran into the panic room and immediately ambushed by Raoul. The two clashed until Raoul was pushed into the panic room. Without thinking, Burnham immediately pressed a button to close the panic room. When the door closed, Raoul's fingers were pinched and he was in so much pain. But Burnham can't open the door because Raoul's gun was left outside and is now in Meg's hand. Now Meg has to figure out how she can get Sarah out of the panic room. Meg asks the two robbers to help Sarah because she has to get an injection. Luckily, Burnham agreed to inject Sarah. Meg was told to come out because they wanted to let go of Raoul's grip. Raoul himself was so angry that his fingers were now crushed. Burnham finally injects Sarah with the drug, which instantly restores her consciousness. On the outside, Meg struggled to think of a way to get Sarah out until she came up with an idea. Meanwhile, Burnham finally finds the safe they've been looking for. With his tools, Burnham began drilling the safe. At that time, Sarah secretly hid some of her syringes. Unexpectedly, two policemen appeared at the door because Stephen had called earlier. Meg knew she had to get rid of these two cops if she didn't want Sarah to be hurt. Meg then pretended nothing happened and asked the two cops to leave. After the cops leave, Meg begins to plan a plan she believes will save her family. Meg starts destroying all the CCTV and locks all the doors in the house. Meanwhile, Burnham finally manages to break into the safe. The two of them were so surprised to find bonds worth $22 million. That's a lot of money to change their lives. Burnham tucked all the bonds under his coat and they were ready to leave the house for good. The panic room door opened and the two robbers started walking out with Sarah as their hostage. Surprisingly, Burnham found that almost all the doors were locked, as if there was only one way. Burnham himself still shows concern for Sarah because he is willing to carry her when passing through the broken mirror. They made it downstairs and met a badly injured Stephen sitting with a gun pointed at them. While in dialogue to hand over Sarah, Meg quietly came out of hiding and hit Raoul with a big hammer. That's when Burnham decided to escape by breaking a window and sped away. Unfortunately, Raoul is still alive. He started attacking Meg. Stephen shot him many times, but all his shots were missed. Raoul and Meg then wrestle. That's when Sarah jumped at Raoul and stabbed him with the syringe she had hidden. But still, both of them lost power compared to Raoul. Raoul had almost smashed Meg's head with that big hammer until suddenly a shot went straight to his head and killed him. Turns out Burnham couldn't bear to let Meg's family be the victims and he decided to go back. Finally, after killing Raoul, Burnham immediately left. But the police arrived at the house and Burnham was arrested. This is the end of the bloody heist at Meg's new apartment.